Hey, True Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. As I routinely say, these shooting hoaxes are all coded with the same numbers. It is the most broken record in the history of broken records. If you go back and watch my first video post that I ever did, I explained what this video channel was about, what I was showing, and since then, in now 600 and some posts strong, I've supported my assertions with evidence, and let this be one more example. Also, in those earlier video posts, I said if you learn to understand these numbers, you can forecast what they might do next. And in the last video post I did on the Lafayette, Louisiana shooting, I stated that the number 58 and 85 was coded within, which was also coded into the Aurora, Colorado shooting. And think about what today's date is. It is August 5th, written in some parts of the world as 5-8, and in other parts as 8-5. And here we have another theater shooting now on this date with these numbers that already connects to the prior two shootings. So let's just go through it. We'll also watch the mainstream news coverage at the end, and we'll laugh at how many times the man uses the word hatchet. Remember, what I also have been asserting is that it is the military, essentially, that is behind our news, and it is truly here for propaganda purposes. The people who invented the TV, they didn't do it for just to entertain us. They also used it for the means that are now waged against us every day, to get out their information and lies to keep us on the path of the agenda that we're all essentially following as a society, you know? All right, so let's just move on with it. This happened in Tennessee, just like the Chattanooga shooting that killed the 4, then 5 Marines recently. Have a video on that, just like the last theater shooting, just like the Aurora shooting. But notice that Tennessee has this gematria of 106, and I've been talking about how much 106 has been coded into the hoaxes lately. The word prophecy has gematria of 106. The Philadelphia train, remember it was traveling 106 miles per hour. The front engine was number 601, the reverse of 106. Since then, we've seen 106 coded into no-hitters, church shootings, church bombings, other shootings, and even Kyle Busch's success in NASCAR. Like I said, all these things are under the same control. They're all essentially the people who run television. These are their means. These are the numbers they code behind all their doings, from sports to nightly news. If it sounds like lunacy, watch some of my videos and, put the work to test yourself and see what you find. A lot of people who come here learn that the information is very real just by applying it themselves. Also, True Seeker, not only are numbers coded into this, the location Antioch, Tennessee, has a lot to do with Christianity and Judaism. We'll get to that. So since video post 1, I've always said all of these shooting hoaxes are full of the number 33, coded over and over and over. Things such as the NRA, which benefit from these shootings because they always boost gun sales. So many people in this nation are convinced they're coming for our guns, but that's something people have been convinced of for 3 decades and have been buying more and more guns in all that time. That kind of started with the Reagan Revolution, that myth of they're coming for our guns. Even before that. Also involved in all these hoaxes are the police, which in Pythagorean gematria sums to 33, the highest degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, which I assert is who runs the police, the NRA, and a whole lot more. The theater where it happened at is the first coded 33 element of this story, the Karmaki Hickory. Karmaki, a 33 word. What else? Hickory, a 44 word, the kill number. Karmaki Hickory 8, which the theater is called if you put it all together, sums to 85. And as I said, the numbers 58 and 85 were coded into the last shooting. The shooting happened at the Grand Theater in Lafayette, Louisiana, which has gematria of 58, the reflection of 85. Again, a lot like today's date. It was called the Grand Theater 16. If you add that 16, it sums to 74, a number often having to do with sacrifice. Jesus was crucified on the cross at 33. Jesus and cross both sum to 74. just like the word Messiah, just like Muhammad in the Quran. Muhammad's first name or name is used in the Quran for the first time in book 47. 47, the reflection of 74. The word Christian equals 47. I don't want to get off on a tangent. I'm just saying these numbers are deep. They're coded in lots of things. They're not arbitrary. Also, this Grand Theater shooting in Lafayette, Louisiana happened the week after the James Egan Holmes trial began, which they covered on the news, who was the man who shot up the Aurora, Colorado theater. And James Egan Holmes sums to 58. The first night of the Grand Theater shooting, they reported over and over that the shooter was 58 years old. Then the next day it turned to 59. 59 is the kill number in Jewish gematria, like hickory. 44, the kill number in simple English gematria. The location, Antioch, Tennessee, has gematria of 68 and 86 with the S exceptions. This is interesting because they have to do with death. MLK was assassinated in the year 68 on 4/4, April 4th. Think about how caskets go 6 feet deep and are 8 feet long. Also, with regards to 86, symbol, triangle, pyramid all have simple English gematria of 86. And with all these theater shootings, it makes me think of how Obama reopened Ford's Theater when he became president with an actor played by Lincoln, which is where Lincoln was shot and killed. That theater was closed until MLK didn't reopen Ford's Theater, but it was reopened in the beginning of 68, just months before MLK was assassinated. It was closed 9 years later in 77, then reopened again in 2009 with Obama and an actor playing Lincoln. Lincoln and Obama both connected through the number 84, his birthday yesterday, August 4th. So anyway, here's a blurb about Antioch. This right here, Antioch, the theater shooting today happened in Antioch. Antioch, founded near the end of the 4th century BC by Seleucus Nicator, one of Alexander the Great's generals. Antioch's geographic, military, and economic location, particularly the spice trade, the Silk Road, the Persian Royal Road, benefited its occupants, and eventually it rivaled Alexandria as the chief city of the Near East and as the main center of Hellenistic Judaism at the end of the Second Temple period. As a result of its longevity and the pivotal role it played in the emergence of both Hellenistic Judaism and early Christianity, Antioch was called the cradle of Christianity. It was one of the 4 cities of the Syrian Tetrapolis. Its residents were known as Antiochs. Once a great metropolis of 500,000 people, it declined to insignificance during the Middle Ages because of warfare, repeated earthquakes, and a change in trade routes, which no longer passed through Antioch from the Far East following Mongol conquests. So think about that, truth seeker. The United States is almost a cradle of Christianity in itself, perhaps a new era of Christianity. And right now our mainstream media is bombarding us with all sorts of fear programming, which they've always done, but right now it's at a heightened peak. And they're even putting out on nightly news that areas of the country are going to get blasted by earthquakes. The latest is the Pacific Northwest. The symbolism, right? We're just talking about the coding, how it has the gematria for symbol, and then this name, very symbolic. Antioch, Tennessee, land of prophecy. The police spokesperson for this was named Don Aaron. Police spokesman Don Aaron. Dawn, a 33 word. Aaron, a 49 word. Aaron, a number 49 connecting with Revelation. 49 is one of the numbers of Revelation. Revelation talks about things that relate to Armageddon, apocalypse. The word Armageddon has gematria of 82, like the name Don Aaron. Don Aaron and Pythagorean gematria sums 37, special number this year. Remember, first Triple Crown winner in 37 years. The 12th prime number is 37. This was the 12th Triple Crown winner after a 37-year gap. Antioch, important to all the major empires of the world in the past. The United States is arguably, you know, one of the most dominant empires on the face of the earth today and has been for pretty much its existence, which is interesting to think about. Here in that train wreck shooting, I just wanted to remind you they didn't release the name of the shooter, just like they haven't yet today. I don't know what the name of the shooter is yet. I'm doing this video just, a half hour after it was reported. And see if I got it here. Maybe I don't. Anyhow, the shooter's name in this summed to 239, a lot like the date September 23rd when the Pope visits, the date of Yom Kippur, the date of Atonement. And also this movie stars LeBron James, who in Jewish gematria has a name also connecting to September 23rd. Instead of tell you about it, I'll just show you here on the gematria calculator. LeBron James, 923. The shooter, his name was John Russell Hauser. Hauser Holmes. House Home. Remember, these are the names of the last two theater shooters. We don't know what the one is today. Hopefully it doesn't have roof in it. We also have that recent theater shooter, Dylan Stormroof. Anyhow, this name John Russell Hauser, gematria of 239. 239. With regards to USA and homes, I'll show you something else. USA has this gematria of 41, just like the word home. Right now, the home is under attack, you could say. All of us living here, our home is under attack if you see your nation as your home. The 13th prime number is 41. Think about how USA is 41, and it began with 13 colonies. USA also breaks down to 311 if you break the letters down in Pythagorean gematria. Rhode Island was the final colony. Rhode Island in Jewish gematria, 311. Just to show you how deep this coding is, only 3 states have 33 names in Pythagorean gematria. The 1st Delaware, the 50th Hawaii, and the 6th Massachusetts. The numerology of 33 is 3 plus 3 equals 6. I have videos on all this stuff if you guys are interested in it. I hope you're interested in it. So anyway, all this 5885 coding. Again, today's July 5th. Look at James Egan Holmes in gematria. 58. 58. The word blood has simple English gematria, 58. Or excuse me, no it doesn't. Gematria 48. 58. Maybe 58 escapes me. I know 85, though, is matrix. Maybe it has something to do with this numbers matrix. It's just theory. These numbers 58 and 85, they escape me. I only know them through them being coded into these theater shootings now so heavily. Also, the biggest movie in the nation right now is titled Rogue Nation, the latest Mission Impossible movie. Look at the gematria of Rogue Nation, Truth Seeker. 58. And Mission Impossible also has that 82 gematria, like Armageddon, like Don Aaron, the police chief here. Numbers coded together. If you guys know what this 58's all about, help me out. Even this Truth Seeker, here's a recent headline from the other day. They're talking about Zuckerberg's miscarriage, and they're putting emphasis on this word. It makes me wonder if these stories are even real, if they're just for propaganda purposes, and Mark Zuckerberg agrees to them. Perhaps this is why he gets paid what he gets paid. If you haven't seen my video on Mark Zuckerberg, it's my 200th video, and I show how he goes around with a hoodie that has the Star of David on the inside. What's that all about? What's that all about? Anyway, miscarriage and Facebook both have this gematria of 58. 5 represents new in numerology. 8, the infinite creation. I don't know, Truth Seeker. All I know is they're putting a lot of emphasis on 58 right now. Obama slams Trump, Huckabee. Americans deserve better, he says. This was just at the end of July, since the last theater shooting. The phrase deserve better has that gematria of 58. You know? I'm only showing this to show you that they're putting this number before our eyes a lot right now. And I've been pointing this out. I've said this in other videos. And then look, a theater shooting today. So if anyone thinks I'm crazy, address that, please, because I emphasized that in the last theater shooting video. And then what do you know? A third theater shooting on the date that corresponds with the numbers. Also, just want to show you this from the last theater shooting. The night of, before they put out his name, they said he was a 58-year-old white man, later changing his age to 59. And the officer's name is reported here is Sergeant David Brooks. Sergeant David Brooks. Or Sergeant Brooks David. I got dyslexic for a second. But either way, it doesn't change the gematria. Numbers are numbers. The name even translates to 58, and he's announcing the 58-year-old shooter. Just further proof that this is coding, and these police officers that go before us, I think, are actors. Let's close with one last point about today's date. 5, 2015, 8 plus 5 plus 20 plus 15 is a date with 48 numerology. And the word hoax has gematria of 48. No doubt this one's a hoax truth seeker. Illuminati and Pythagorean gematria sums to 48. And it seems that this world has been ruled by hoax for as long as there's been conversation about Illuminati. Obama's Iran nuke deal pitch, it's been up here with a 47-minute ticker next to it for a long time. The word president equals 47. CNN will pop up news stories out of nowhere and just put a random time next to it. Well, if you know how to do gematria, you find out the time's not random. What I'm trying to say is this stuff, this coding, it's for real, it's deep, they do it all the time. All the reasons why they do it, I cannot explain. But like I say, it seems to forecast future events if you can read it. Possibly it signifies who's behind the attack. Maybe Masons, Jesuits, different sects of Masonry, etc. You know, it could be trademarking. It could be for programming purposes. It could subliminally hit us. You know, the English language, when we write, we use the word spell. Think about what a spell is. Way before I knew numerology and gematria, I thought that this nation, the people, were under a spell, because I've never been able to understand how they can't see through all the bullshit. I was born with really good bullshit goggles, truth seeker. It's the best way I can put it. Mainstream media, some straight up bullshit, and I grow up to find out it's coded. Coded bullshit. Alright, I need to wrap it up. Until next time. Encore, truth seeker. Let us finish with this CNN news coverage of a man explaining what happened in the midday Antioch theater shooting of the movie Mad Max. Notice how many times he uses the word emphasis, and recall that all this media programming is about fear, fear, fear. Let's see, get the volume up here. There we go.
The individual was reported to report of an active shooter at the Hickory 8 movie theater.
And they always use that phrase, active shooter. Just like when they have drills, they call them active shooter drills. It's so obvious these are drills, truth seeker. Just watch everything he talks about. From bomb squads to backpacks, it's all the same.
The individual was reported to have been armed with a gun and a hatchet. At this point, there is a report that one person may have suffered a wound from the hatchet. That's still being sorted out by the fire department now, trying to take a look at what injuries we may have here. The response from the South Precinct was swift. An officer entered the theater where Mad Max was showing. The officer started at the projection room and started clearing down. He encountered the gunman. The gunman opened fire on the South Precinct officer. That officer returned his fire and then backed away out of the theater. The SWAT team responded. The SWAT team engaged this gunman. Some minutes later, there was a gunfire, and the gunman is deceased just inside the movie theater. So we believe
Yeah, just inside the movie theater where nobody can see him.
the imminent threat has been ended. However, the gunman had two backpack type bags with him, one on him, another that was left. We want to make sure that there is no danger with those backpacks. So officers are working now from hazardous devices to clear those backpacks.
Backpack, 48 word. You know, Truth Seeker, these people, it's amazing to me how they just sell us out, but I'm sure if we talked to them and asked them why they sell us out, they would tell us it's because they believe in the mission, and also because they realize they live in a world where all they can do is focus on themselves and their family. And, you know, that's how this persists, because everybody's operating with that mentality. Well, it doesn't matter what I do, I just got to look out for me and my family. Focus on the family. Pat Robertson and all these clowns programming people with poison. There's a lot of layers to this cake that's waged against us. It's at this heightened level because they know we're a society that bends forever and never breaks. We have no breaking point. We'll take anything. All right, once the shooter's name's released, we'll see how it connects. Will it connect to September 23rd like the last shooting? More 5885? It remains to be seen. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.